Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Welcome.
And look at that. We got Justin back. You've been gone for a while. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I've been busy, man. I've been busy with work. And then as I was mentioning in pre-show, man, I'm getting old, man. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed by the time you guys start recording. But now that we're on daylight savings time, you know, it actually helps me because I'm like, hey, I can do this now. But no, dude, I'm going to bed.
You know the number of times that I've missed the show because I've fallen asleep with my kids?
Yeah, it's happened.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it happens.
It happened one time when it was just you and me. I was sitting here.
Correct.
Oh, where is he? Where is he?
Yeah. I've actually fallen asleep at the microphone. When I was working at KLPX, I fell asleep at the microphone.
I think I remember hearing about that. That was we got quite a bit of fodder for that one. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. You hear about that overnight guy? Yeah.
Jonas had to call in, and I was like answering the phone, and I'm like, he's like, first off, I'm like, why are you calling me so late? And you're like, why are you sleeping? You're supposed to be on the air.
One of the many stations that I work at or have worked at, I'll say it that way. One day I was driving in to record, not this show, another show, and I noticed that the top of the hour came by, and I didn't hear the DJ on the air. As a matter of fact, it was 20 minutes in my drive. I never heard the DJ once, and there were certain parts that DJ had to do. So I called the boss, and apparently she had forgot to come in, and her shift was at 2. This was at 4.
Oh my gosh! Well, wait, don't they just go dead air, or does the computer systems nowadays do they just keep on just going right by it and just keep on playing?
Radio automation is interesting because if you're in the studio. And like this show that we do here, and of course my show that I do in the afternoon and throughout the day, we have live DJs. They're in there, and you know, yes, you could say, all right, I wanted to play the next 3 songs without having to interact with them, but generally you just play each one. I mean, we're there live, and it's rare these days. Yeah. You know, and I always felt a little weird doing that because when I was working for one of the big network groups, I could say Westwood One, I was on 70 stations. And this is while I was working here as well. 70 stations. I go home and I would record. And the thing is, you'd record 2 hours ahead. But if something happened in that radio town, you know, whether it was in, Florida,
breaking news or something.
I was in Pittsburgh, I was in DC, I was everywhere. But if something happened, what am I going to do? There's nothing. Everything had to be recorded an hour ahead.
That's the one thing I never understood about canning. Like, okay, I understand, radio stations, they want to save money. A lot of it is canned. Now, when I say canned, I mean like pre-recorded. But the thing is if you go back in history, radio DJs are technically, they started out as journalists. I mean, they were there to provide you news and entertainment. And radio used to be just simply news. And then eventually...
Yeah, it's changed. When I was in broadcasting school, we had to go rip the news off the teletype. They actually had a teletype, and it would give you news, the biggest news stories, and then you would always have to do the news at the top of the hour.
How was it back in the Old West?
Are cool? you making a reference to my age, young man?
Maybe just a little bit. No, but I mean, seriously, if you think about it, this is what they were designed to do. They weren't designed to just simply do like music. They were, radio DJs were there to one, run the station, make sure that you take your meter readings and make sure the towers and all the stuff. Everything's the lights are on and the towers are broadcasting at the right frequency and the right wattage. You're there to provide news, you provide entertainment, and then music in between. And then eventually just kind of got less and less news and more entertainment, radio,
more
music,
and more commercials.
More and more commercials. Yeah. And then everything became automated. So then you didn't have to take your readings anymore. Everything was automatically logged by a computer. And then it just got to eventually where it's like, oh, we don't even need DJs anymore. And now some radio stations are even using AI DJs.
I think Odyssey was one of the first groups that decided to start doing or trying that out. And let's face it, guys, it's getting really good. Some of the stuff they're able to do is pretty amazing. And, one of the big worries that some radio people that, I know is that you think about all the audio we've recorded over the years, even this show, all the audio recorded over the years, that's an audio print. That's like it's like it's you.
Yeah.
That could be manipulated now using AI to say the time, the weather, the song that was just played, the song that's being played. AI is scary not only for radio but also for television. It's gotten so good that at some point those that are delivering the news on TV have to be concerned.
But have you also heard about, and this is starting to make kind of waves in the tech industry, is this thing that they're calling the AI bubble. They're talking about this as if this is going to be another one of the .com busts, back from like the 2000s, when everybody was all in on the internet and the internet was the big thing, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything just failed. And all these companies are putting so much money into AI, OpenAI getting like a $500 billion investment from like NVIDIA, and then blah, 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 blah. People are saying this is a bubble.
Yeah.
Like it's going to fail. And I kind of think that's the way. I think the hype has just gotten too big, and AI is really not going to do what everybody thinks it's going to do. Now, yes, granted, maybe in, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 years, yeah, maybe we'll all be redundant. But I think right now, I think it's a bubble.
Yeah, I think people are going to get burned. Well, if they're not already burned out, because every time you turn around, AI.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote on, and I'm going to just say, I saw this on Nextdoor, and it was AI with a round circle and a slash through it, And so I went ahead and asked. I said, just wondering what facet of AI do you dislike the most? And the person responded, said, everything. I dislike how it's incorporated into every app now.
Yep.
I dislike how many people were fired. Let's face it, that's happened because they were replaced by AI.
Yep.
I dislike how people normalizing it when it shouldn't.
It's coming for kids' toys. It's coming for toys.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't sit right for me. We talked about this a couple months ago. There was an article that came out that said Hasbro is looking at incorporating AI into toys.
Right.
For what reason?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
My frustration with AI is you are sucking the creativity and the artistic vision out of the human soul. And when you start taking that away from people, what's left? And if kids are now just they're going to be entertained by AI, why do they need to be creative anymore?
They don't.
Why do they need to think anymore?
This is exactly
need to play anymore.
This is exactly what I was having a conversation with my family about. This is that, with AI, we weren't centered on the AI aspect of it, but we were more centered on the creativity portion of childhood. And Eric is constantly like, I'm bored. And I saw a post, I remember it was Reddit or Facebook or whatever, but it was like talking about it's like, it's okay to be bored. Children should be bored because that's what sparks creativity. That's what makes them go, what can I make? What can I do? And if they have a screen in front of them the whole time, it's never going to spark that creativity. It's going to just give that dopamine hit, and then that's it. And so now then they're going to be addicted to the dopamine hit, which is the screen.
Just think of even just from the safeguards you have to put into place. So let's say this children's toy has AI in it. Is it on-prem? Does it connect to the cloud? Is it learning?
Oh, it's going to have to connect to the cloud, yeah.
Right. So it's like
the new Teddy Ruxpin Wi-Fi edition.
We all know that everybody has a recording device in their phone, in their pocket with their phones. Like, it's always listening. Your TV's listening. Your whatever. But now just add in all these other kids' toys in kids' spaces, listening to what your kids are doing, listening to what. It just freaks me out. It really does.
I'm starting to see TV commercials where, and I think we're becoming a little more attuned to what artificial intelligence is in the media. And I'm seeing TV commercials where they'll cut to a shot of a couple sitting around a table. I could tell right away, oh, that's AI.
Well,
it's the filmmaking.
Did you see 24 hours ago, Coca-Cola released their new AI-generated holiday commercial?
Oh my
No,
God!
are you
They did it again. So last year, So so last year they did it, and it was really bad. You could really tell. This year's is not any better. The animals look awful. The backgrounds look awful. The transitions are awful. The ending is awful. The whole thing is just awful. It's getting to the point where it's what is becoming acceptable to the viewer.
I'll be honest with you. I use it. I've used it for stuff I needed to put together, stuff to be a little more cohesive, and it works for me. But again, I don't let it do everything for me.
I just watched that Coca-Cola ad.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't know, man. It feels Coca-Cola. You know, because I mean, no, I did. I watched it, and I can tell certain aspects of it are AI. But the thing about Coca-Cola ads, especially the holiday ads, they've done CGI for so many years. This doesn't feel that different than their normal CGI ads.
It's just pushing the boundaries of that uncanny valley where it's just. I mean, you knew the polar bears are animated, right? That's just a fundamental fact. But this just pushes it to another level with some of the other animals they put in there, the transitions, the snow, the driving. If you look at the shot at the end with the semis, it plows over some people. Like
what?
Just watch the end. Watch the end again.
Okay, I didn't watch the end.
Watch the end and tell me that semi does not run over people.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm watching the end right now.
Just watch the end and tell me it does not plow over people at the end.
All right. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, dude, it's and the shot.
Okay,
the wide shot of the crowd.
We just witnessed AI murder.
All of the people in the last wide shot are
right.
Their legs are moving funny. Their arms are moving funny.
It used to be it was the fingers, right? Yeah, now it's the way they move.
But the other shot that really bugged the crap out of me was there's a shot of the puppies in the window.
Yep.
And it's reflecting what looks to be the trucks driving by.
Right.
But as it goes over the face of the puppy, it does some weird blending with the face of the puppy, and then you no longer see the Coca-Cola logo anymore. And then it does something weird, and it's just a really weird. You can tell it's something.
It's probably up on YouTube, or will they take it down?
You can also just go to the official Coca-Cola channel on YouTube and just look for the one that's called Coca-Cola Holidays Are Coming.
Go to the YouTube channel and watch it. Watch it with the live transcription. The live transcription is horribly inaccurate. I wanted to get Justin's opinion on this, right? So with the Sora stuff, you mentioned the Sora, the video generator, right? Have you seen the stuff where Studio Ghibli is suing Sora?
No.
Because of copyright infringement?
Not necessarily just Sora, but I do know that about 8-9 months ago, ChatGPT was in hot water with Studio Ghibli because people were basically taking photos and saying, make this in a style of Studio Ghibli. And I even have some photos of my family in the Studio Ghibli style.
I remember you did that.
And it does a very, very good job. Now, I don't know about the Sora aspect. So if you're listening to this and you're like, what is Sora? Sora is the video generating application built into ChatGPT. So it uses AI to generate video instead of just text or photos. Yeah. But no, I have not heard about the video aspect of it.
So the Content Overseas Distribution Association, which represents a ton of Japanese anime, is basically written a very strongly worded letter to OpenAI and Sora saying, you got to stop using our stuff to train your models.
Yeah.
Because it's pumping out copyrighted content. So
that's
the kind of stuff that is inevitable.
We're talking about media, so let's talk a little bit about something we've talked about for the last couple of weeks. Justin was out. Justin said, hey, I found this website, and this website is really cool. I would love to, give my thoughts on it. And, of course, that website, TV Garden. Justin, you finally got a chance to check it out, right?
Yeah, actually, I did. You guys were talking about it. I missed the last couple of shows. But no, I also check out TV Garden, and it's actually really cool. I mean, I like how you're presented with a map, colored map of the globe, and you just pick on the country, and then it lists what channels are available. I'm personally right now, as we're doing the show, I'm watching a Japanese news channel,
Isn't that amazing?
And it's done via YouTube. So it's like a YouTube embedded channel, but it's streaming live. And yeah, I mean, there's like at least 30 channels from just Japan alone, not to mention the other countries. But yeah, TV.Garden is really cool.
So I will mention that Andy and I talked about this about 2 weeks ago. And when we watched it, it had every available ESPN channel.
Oh,
Really?
It does not anymore.
Oh.
So we're talking about TV.Garden, which is a great resource for finding local television and just really kind of niche TV stations around the world. But a lot of people this past weekend were
with
really,
YouTube
were
TV.
really upset.
Yep.
Specifically Notre Dame football fans.
Mm-hmm.
So Notre Dame's game was on ESPN this past weekend. If you had YouTube TV, you lost access to ESPN the night before the football game.
Yep. And also Monday Night Football. I wanted to watch Monday Night Football last night because I like to watch the Peyton and Eli Manning cast on ESPN2. And they had Baker Mayfield, which is one of my favorite NFL players. I just like Baker. And he was on it, and I couldn't watch it because ESPN and Disney and YouTube are just having a spat. And the craziest part is I heard a story this morning, or maybe yesterday morning, talking about how Disney approached YouTube TV and said, look, well, actually Google, because that's the parent company. They said, look, we got elections. We got elections on Tuesday. We want our viewers to be able to know what's going on with the elections. Can you please just put our channels back on at least just for Tuesday, maybe Wednesday morning? And YouTube was like, nope.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of the driving for this decision was that ESPN launched their own complete content streaming application.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were just like I don't want to, like, what is happening with the streaming world right now? Like, it's worse than it was when cable was the thing. It's more expensive.
This is the thing that everybody mentioned in the beginning.
It's more confusing. It's more frustrating. It's more expensive. It's user prohibitive. It's what is happening?
Well, you know, I have been contemplating making the change to YouTube TV, and people are saying, "No, wait, you might want to wait a little bit because you may not get all the channels you want." That's been my problem with the cable company. You know, I'm spending $200 a month, and yet I really don't.
They do that. They do that with every.
Go back 7 months ago when or 8 months ago, maybe a year ago, when my in-laws got YouTube TV. If we go back and listen to that episode, you should pull a clip from that episode because it was like they're going to save a ton of money because they're cutting cable, they're not using it, they're bundling it with the internet. It's going to be fantastic. They're paying $70 a month, whatever, for everything. It's like over $100 now.
Oh yeah, I pay like $125 just for YouTube TV.
It's insane, and they're even going at it like this was a good deal when we got it.
Yeah,
and now
that's how they do it. That's how they get you.
It stinks. But
I kind of wonder
if corporate greed.
If people decide, okay, I'm going to leave YouTube TV, then their options are, well, of course, the antenna and ATSC3 might change some of that for some people. But I'm thinking, okay, so maybe TV Garden is going to be the next place to fall down the rabbit hole with.
Maybe.
You know, I don't know. You know.
No, I think people are just raising that black Jolly Roger and sailing the high seas at this point.
Yeah.
And I was reading a really good article before the show that Google has basically like 15 billion URLs across the internet that they're trying to get removed that have pirated content on them.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I mean, that's whack-a-mole, dude. It's whack-a-mole. You're going to take one down, two more are going to pop up.
All right. I want to talk a little bit about this because I've never been and I want to go. Justin, you did take a little vacation. You made a trip to Aspen, Colorado.
Yes,
and
I did.
I've never been to Aspen. I've always thought that's where the celebrities skied. That's where, you know, you went. I mean, is it
Well,
really
that's
like
of course I'm going to go there. I'm a celebrity. Of course I'm going to go there.
Of course,
He's
yeah.
the voice of Waterworld.
Well, the voice of Waterworld.
And the co-host of Tech Talk Radio. Thank
People
you.
say, wait, Tech Talk Radio, what's that? Oh, Waterworld. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can I have your autograph? So how was it?
It was interesting. We went up there on a Friday. And I expected, traffic was going to be bad. So from our house to Aspen is about 4.5 hours by car, because you got to take I-70 up into the mountains to Glenwood Springs, and then you drop south into Aspen, and that's about an hour from Glenwood Springs. So I expected it. I was like, oh, okay. It says 4.5 hours. It's probably going to be more like 6, because of the traffic. There was no traffic. It was great. It was no traffic. The weather was beautiful. The colors. Everybody also said, oh, you missed all the fall colors. They're all gone. No, it was great. It was awesome. The colors were amazing. We got into Aspen on the afternoon of a Friday, and Misa and her friend wanted to go walk around and do some shopping. They wanted to go to some of the high-end stores. I mean, it really truly is. I mean, there's a lot of high-end stores there. Now, I got to say, though, I do think that when I went there, I kind of imagined Aspen as being more like a picturesque mountain town with like Rodeo Drive of LA with all the shops lined up. No, it's not. It truly feels like just a normal like mountain town. I mean, with just people living there. It doesn't feel like a rich escape,
Right.
There is one street that has a lot of the high-end shops, but there's also just a lot of regular shops mixed in too. So it was very interesting to be where we were at. And I was just kind of like, wow, it doesn't feel like a rich person's place. So me and the husband of Misa's friend, we walked around with the kids. We went out to lunch. We got some beers, and we met up with Misa then and her friend at I don't know what the name of it was called. It was a high-end leather store of some sort, like Italian leather, like bags and shoes and things like that. Anyway, she was looking at buying something there. And I was talking to the storekeeper, and I was like, oh, I bet you guys serve a lot of celebrities around. She's like, oh, yeah, all the time. She's like, as a matter of fact, if you were here just like a couple hours ago, Leo was in here. And I was like, wait, Leo, I mean, you like Leo DiCaprio? And she's like, yeah, he was in here with his girlfriend. They were shopping. And I was like, wait, Leo's in town?
That's cool.
So yeah, that was really cool. And then, kind of fast forward, we went out to dinner. We had a good dinner. Walking back to our hotel, we had to walk across a large park. They called it a rugby pitch. I'm sure they probably play a lot of rugby up there. But anyway, walking across this rugby pitch, I really wasn't paying attention. I had a couple beers. I wasn't drunk or anything, but I had a couple beers. And I'm approaching this black object in the middle of this rugby field, and I finally look up, and I focus my eyes on it, and it is a black bear.
Oh,
a juvenile black bear. Now, I'm not talking about a baby, because a baby is the most dangerous, because that means mama's around.
Yeah.
This was a juvenile black bear just strolling through the park. Wow. And he just kept on walking. He walked right down the shopping street, and people were coming out of the shops, and they were like, oh my God, like screaming and running back in the shops, and they were locking the doors, and the bear was just like, do, 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 do. Like he was just walking around town, man. He was just chilling, having a good time. And it was like the closest I've ever come. I probably came within about, I want to say probably within about 50 yards of a black bear.
That's cool.
And I didn't even realize it.
That could have been bad, but it's good.
It could have been really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We got to take a quick break. We come back. We talk more. We've got some great links. We've got a couple of listener questions and some news. And of course, you had a problem with a laptop, which will play nicely to one of our questions as well. When we come back, I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back. So y'all know that I have a smart home. I run Home Assistant, which is an open source, free smart home management software. And I've got a lot of smart home devices. I've got Zeus, I've got Lutron, I've got a little bit of Philips, I've got a lot of different things that operate different light switches, mostly light switches and light bulbs. But I've been yearning to just get back into the smart home thing because it's been a long time since I built my smart home, and it just kind of it does its thing, but I'm like, I just want to make it better. We even reached out at one point, this is a couple years ago, we reached out to Reed's Smart Home, who's a YouTuber. He was actually going to come on the show. I just never followed up with him. I really need to reach back out to him. But anyway, there's this new thing that is really taking the smart home world by storm, and it's this little sensor, and it's called an ESP32. Now, this little microcontroller is the brains of the sensor. Now, you can build whatever kind of sensor you want, but this is the brains of it. So what you do is you plug this in to your Raspberry Pi or wherever you're running your Home Assistant. You set it up, then you introduce the sensor that you want. Now, it could be a temperature humidity sensor. In my case, I bought 5 of these. What are they called here? Capacitive soil moisture sensors. Now, so what this does is I basically stick this sensor in a plant, a potted plant, with my ESP32 next to it. Now, I can run the ESP32 off of a small solar panel, or I can run it off a battery pack, or I can just find an outlet and plug it into. But anyway, you stick this capacitive soil sensor into a plant, and then you program the ESP32 to say, hey, when soil moisture reaches less than 20%, send me an alert. That tells me, hey, it's time to water the plants.
So you don't overwater, you don't underwater. It's
exactly. And then there's other sensors you can do. Like I said, you can do temperature, humidity. A lot of people do that. And if you try to buy like a temperature, humidity sensor off of Amazon that's off the shelf, that basically is an ESP32 chip built in with a sensor, you're looking at spending 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks even on a single sensor. You can build an ESP32 with a temperature humidity sensor for a total of $14.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's great.
And so I've got these capacitive soil sensors. I've also got I got some mmWave sensors. Now, what that does, mmWave is a presence detection, but it's not like a true motion detector, because motion detectors, they'll read anything across the room. A cat 30 feet away walks across, boom, it triggers the motion sensor, your alarm goes off. No, you don't want that. A mmWave sensor uses millimeter waves, that's why it's called that, and it's very accurate, and it's very short range. So what I can do, for instance, is I put a mmWave sensor just around the corner of my stairwell leading up to the upstairs, just kind of out of view of anybody walking around the living room. But the moment that I cross that threshold onto the stairwell, that mmWave sensor says, hey, there's somebody here. And it sends a signal to Home Assistant, says, my sensor just went off. Now, Home Assistant says, okay, I've been programmed to say that when this mmWave sensor goes off, or on, excuse me, I'm supposed to turn on the stairway lights.
Wow.
And it does that.
Could this be used in a case too? And I know you've dealt with this, unfortunately, flooding in a basement or flooding.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's water sensor. Yeah.
You could set up a sensor so that if there was excessive moisture, it would pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Now, not the ones I have here. The capacitive soil moisture will not work for that, but there are just straight moisture sensors that you can just simply lay on the floor. And I just, the one that I had with my flooding thing that I had a year ago, or a little bit over a year ago, I ended up buying a $250 sensor that also has an automatic shutoff. So like if it detects moisture on the ground, it will automatically shut off the hot water of the hot water heater, the tankless water heater. It'll shut off the supply line to that water heater. That was $250. Now that I look at this with an ESP32, I probably could have built that same thing with an actual physical device to turn off the valve. I probably could have built that for about $80.
Wow. That's pretty good. I'd never heard of this technology. What is it again? It's called
ESP. Now, I don't know what ESP stands for. Maybe Shawn has done some Google foo in the background.
But I will.
ESP-32. And again, they are powered by USB. So I got the ones with the USB-C connector because it's just a little bit easier because everything's USB-C now. And they have pinouts, just like a GPIO. I don't know if you can see this on the screen. Right. I'm trying to put it on here.
That's cool.
But yeah, little pinouts that you can then put into a breadboard to program it or put it into your own circuit. But now that I also have a 3D printer, I can print custom cases for these little sensors.
Oh, nice. That's
and then
good.
put them wherever I want.
Right.
So ESP just stands for Espressive Systems, which is the company that made them, and it's 32-bit. So ESP32, it's a 32-bit microcontroller. They came out in 2016, so they've been around for a long time. But just with IoT and just the world of that, you can just do so much more now. So there's tons more.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's on the same line of like Arduino, other microcontrollers.
Yeah, Arduino. Yeah, Arduino,
Raspberry Pis, etc. So if you're into those, this is going to be very familiar territory for you.
Well, first off, though, the ESP does not run an OS like Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is much more powerful.
Yeah.
So the ESP runs a very basic, like a Python or a basic code like Python or something like that.
Right. So just to clarify, though, Raspberry Pi does make a Pi Zero, which is essentially an ESP.
Sure. Yeah. Yes, they do.
So there are versions of Raspberry Pi that are very similar to ESPs, but you can't get full-fledged.
But even the
OS
Pi Zero, the Pi Zero even runs Linux. These ESPs cannot run Linux.
Correct.
Right. So they're even the Zero is a little bit more powerful than the ESP. But yes, Shawn is correct. One other thing I can do with this is, I have an outdoor freezer. Garage freezer.
Yeah.
I can buy a temperature sensor, mount an ESP controller on the side of the freezer, and I can monitor the temperature of my freezer. So, and like, what happens? Like, oh my God, I left the freezer door open accidentally. I'll get an alert saying, hey, the temperature has risen in the outdoor freezer. Oh, shoot, I need to go close the door to the freezer. Like, those are the kind of things you can do with this.
That is pretty cool. I like that. Where would somebody find this?
Amazon.
Nice.
You could buy a 6-pack for $20.
Yep.
All right,
I just bought a 5-pack for like $15. Yeah.
All right. We got a listener email in from Rick in Sahuarita. Rick says, hey, I'm wanting to get a new PC with Windows 11 for the house. A friend told me to build it myself, and I'm not that tech-oriented. Would that be too much of a challenge? I don't play games. I mainly use it to read news stories and check out videos on YouTube. Should I try it, or am I better off buying ready to go at Costco or Best Buy? If so, which is a brand to look at, Rick?
I'm sorry, Rick. If your question is, you're basically saying all you do is to read news stories and check out videos on YouTube. You don't need to build a PC. Just go buy a Chromebook.
Really?
Yeah.
Chromebook
or a relatively inexpensive bottom end of your budget laptop.
Dude, he's talking about using it to browse the web. He doesn't need to build a PC for that.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Just
that's
get a Chromebook.
There's
so with the rise of on the topic of building computers.
Yeah.
Have you seen RAM prices recently?
No. Are they up or down?
So RAM prices have tripled in price over the last 3
to
4 weeks.
Tariffs?
No, it's the AI. It's all of the DDR5 RAM that's being eaten up for AI computing and all the.
I thought that was all GPU.
Oh, still need RAM.
RAM.
I mean, you just go and look at PC Part Picker, Newegg, and look at the trending prices for RAM, and you are going to see double, if not triple, in RAM prices.
There is a story, we talked about this, Shawn, I don't know if you remember this, that people are ditching the desktop. You had that desktop, you had that tower. I think we all started with, you had that square one that sat. I had a laser 128, I think is what it was.
We had a Hewlett Packard at home growing up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you went to a tower.
Gateway.
Oh, the gateways, yeah. And then, but people are ditching them now to have a laptop because you can put a laptop in your desk if you want. Buy a monitor, attach another monitor,
A
or you
docking
buy
station. Yep.
buy a docking station and get two monitors on it. And they're saying that they're pretty happy with it because it does what they need it to do.
Yeah.
If you're going to game, though, I wouldn't do that for a gaming situation.
I don't know
No,
about that, dude. I got, that new HP Omen. I'm going to talk about my problem with that HP Omen, but that HP Omen's got a 5070 in it, an RTX 5070 with 32 gigs of RAM, and I can run any game I want on that laptop.
And I've got an older Asus ROG that's got a 2080 in it, so a 2080 mobile in it, and that was great for what it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
I got a 2080 Ti in my desktop that I'm doing the show with.
Right.
I don't play games on this computer anymore. I basically just play them on the laptop, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We play them on the laptop or our phones. I mean, that's the whole bit.
Yeah.
I was kind of excited because my grandson showed up the other day with a Switch, a Nintendo Switch. I've never seen one. I've never held one. I've never used one.
Wait, a Nintendo Switch 1 or 2?
A one. It would be a one. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
It
So
still
they're
was
even
kind of cool.
so they're even saying that computer literacy is down.
Oh, that's not
with
good.
Oh, yeah.
How little children interact with computers now. Like when I grew up and I had computer lab, like we had a lot of computers.
Mavis
and we
Beacon
sat-
typing.
Yeah, Mavis Beacon typing, Mario Racing typing. Like you were interacting with a computer on a day-to-day basis, typing, writing, whatever, internet, etc. Now everybody does it on their phones. So
Yeah.
you're getting into this newer generation,
And everything
of
is
kids that are in their
spell correct, spell
the kids
check
that are
automatically.
into their teens that
Right.
don't know how to navigate an operating system on a computer. They don't know how to do keyboard shortcuts. They don't know how to do basic functions on a computer because they're always on a mobile or a tablet or another handheld device that has a completely different functioning operating system.
That's exactly what I went through when I was working back at Fox 5 in San Diego. Being an IT person, we would get remember the girl, the reporter girl that came in, and I was like, "Here's your laptop, and then here's your USB hotspot dongle," and she's like, "USB?" That was like a famous little story because she's like, "USB? I don't know what USB is," and I was like, "Oh my God! Like what?" What? This is back in like 2012. It's even gotten worse. But now I understand it. I was like, how can you be in the year of 2025 and not know how to use a computer? Shawn just perfectly summed it up right there.
You're seeing it with some of my younger cousins or my friends that have kids that are 15, 16, 17 years old. It's bizarre how they just don't know how to navigate a computer.
And it's just going to get worse with AI.
Yeah, we have somebody new at the station, and she needed to get her laptop configured for our printer. So I said, well, just bring it on in, and we'll go through it. And it did not have any USB-A ports at all on it. It was everything was just two USB-C ports, and that was it. And that's the thing. When you're out buying a laptop, make sure you get what you're going to need. That's the thing. You just go, especially now we're coming up to Black Friday. We're going to see sales. Make sure it has everything you need.
So basically, don't buy an Apple.
No, Apple's cutting their prices too.
No, I'm
Apple's
saying Apple, you don't get anything. You get one port, and then you have to get a dongle for everything.
I don't know.
They've it's historically been that way. You can get some of their newer MacBooks do have a USB-A, an SD card slot, and 4 USB-Cs plus an actual HDMI output.
And that costs about what, $17,000?
Come on. There's also EasyQuest, which makes some great hubs as well for Apple devices, so I like them. All right, we're going to take another quick break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Don't buy Apple. Find us on X at Tech Talk Radio.
So during the break, we talked a little bit about a segment that we want to talk about. This was posted on the IT Humor and Memes group on Facebook.
Love that group.
Mm-hmm.
Between 1991 and 2009, so take a trip back to the early days of the internet. What's the most memorable computer game you played in that time frame?
Oh, there were so many good ones.
Oh.
So So let's start with Justin. Justin, so between 1991 and 2009. So it's a pretty good chunk of time.
I gotta say, my eyes move right to Wolfenstein 3D, because that was one of the very first games I ever played. But my favorite, I have to say, was probably either Command and Conquer or The Sims.
The Sims was fun.
Yeah.
My daughter still plays The Sims. She has Sims 4, I think they're up to now. I mean, or maybe even beyond that. She still has fun with it. That was a lot of fun to play.
I also did really like Roller Coaster Tycoon. But Shawn, what for you? I think I know the answer. Can I say what I think the answer is going to be?
Absolutely.
World of Warcraft.
So I think this time frame is a little too unfair, because it covers such a progression in the computer gaming world, right?
Yeah.
91 to 2009, that's a long time. It's almost 2 decades.
Right.
So I have to break this up into, I think, 3 different games for this time period. I have to, because there's...
Well, that's kind of what I did.
Just like you. So I grew up getting PC Magazine.
Yep.
With the discs and the demos and stuff. I still have it. I'll go get it and show it to you it's a disc that is a demo disc for Apogee games.
Oh yeah, Apogee.
Apogee was great.
They made some of the best shareware games that existed.
So did Sierra.
So you had Wolfenstein 3D, which is a classic. But there's an Apogee game called Blake Stone Aliens of Gold, which is... I still play that game to this day because it's on GOG. Blake Stone Aliens of Gold. It's a sci-fi shooter. It's just fantastic.
First person or...
It's a first-person shooter. It's
Really?
a very Doom... It's a very Doom Wolfenstein-esque, platformer. It's so good. I just love that. I don't know what it is about that game. I loved it.
I played Doom more.
Yeah. Then Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, probably the game I've spent the most time in my life playing. Then World of Warcraft, and then into some other games down the road. But those ones, the Blizzard games, Blizzard North, before they got, before all the BS with Activision and all that stuff. But yeah, so those are.
What about you, Andy? I mean, you probably played a game or two back then.
I did. Doom was one of those that I played a lot. I loved Duke Nukem. Nukem was just an absolute blast. But there's one. Okay, so I was looking over the list of some of the ones that people were mentioning, and Loom was on the list. But I don't remember Loom. I remember it was a big game, but I don't remember exactly what it did.
I don't remember Loom, but I'm actually a little bit offended that Leisure Suit Larry did not make this list.
Good old
Leisure Suit Larry. How about Gary's Mod?
Yeah, Gary's Mod. Yep.
Leisure Suit Larry. All right, so what have you got there, Shawn?
Okay, so there's a couple that I missed for sure. So,
all right,
I'm gonna rattle off a couple in my seat. I have my actual install. Jet Fighter 2.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
I've got all my I've got so many.
What are those shiny discs called?
Yeah, what are those things called?
These are going to be these are so many good memories. Jet Fighter, Super VGA Harrier, Knights of the Old Republic. This classic, Deer Hunter.
Deer Hunter.
Remember Deer Hunter.
The Medal of Honor games, Morrowind. Jet Fighter 2, Battlefield 1942.
Hey, can I borrow Morrowind?
The original Diablo, I've got that in there too.
Did you Combat Flight Simulator?
Command and Conquers.
Yeah.
Yep. Age of Empires.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, I mean, this is my. Yeah, I've got so many good discs in here.
Wow. Well, it's great.
That's most of my PC childhood in there.
If you go to that group on Facebook, again, a great group, IT Humor and Memes, you can see what other people have said and maybe reminisce a little about some of the games that you played and had a good time with.
Speaking of video games, there is an anniversary edition of a famous video game, and it's actually, I'm just all about this series right now because of the TV show, second season coming out here next month. But it is Fallout 4. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. Now, it has been over 10 years since Fallout 4 was released.
Oh, boy.
Right.
Over 10 years. I think I want to say 11 or even 12 actually right now. Comes out on November 10th. It bundles
Monday.
the base game. Yeah, Monday.
Right.
It bundles the base game with several expansions. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition will be available digitally on the Xbox Series S, X, Xbox One, PC, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4. Now, I'm actually playing Fallout 4 again. So in the last few weeks, I guess maybe I probably started just when last time I was on the show here a few weeks ago, but I really got back into Fallout 76. Now, 76 is the MMO version of Fallout. It's online. You're playing with real people. But I've been playing Fallout 76 like mad. And then I wanted to get Eric. I wanted Eric to be able to play Fallout with me. So I signed up. I got him a copy of Fallout 76, and I put it on his computer, and we launched the game, and Bethesda, who's the maker of Fallout, the first message as soon as he launched the game, it says, "We have detected this is a child account. He is not allowed to play this game."
Wow.
And I was like, wait, what? So I contacted Bethesda support, and I said, look, I'm his parent. I am granting permission for him to play this game. And because, yes, there's blood and gore in it, but it's kind of like a cartoonish blood and gore. It's not like super realistic. So I was like, I allow this. And they're like, okay, well, you got to fill out this legal document. They sent me a legal document that I had to fill out, sign, scan, and then email back to them. And then they were like, okay, we'll go ahead and process this. And then boom, you're good. Nope. Even after I said that, Bethesda was like, no, we are not allowing your child to play unless he's 13 years old. And I'm like, okay, then give me the reason why. I have already provided you parental consent. And they said, we don't care about parental consent. It's because the reason that why is because it has online chat. There's voice chat and there's no text chat, but there's voice chat in the game, and they cannot control the voice chat because they don't have moderation aspects built in.
Some of the safeties now, let's face it, there are a lot of people out there that are going to prey on kids.
Yeah, and I get that, and that's why I don't allow him to play Roblox. So then I said, okay, fine. He was really upset. He's like, I just want to play Fallout with you. So what I did was I installed Fallout 4, which is a single-player game. There's no multiplayer aspect. Mm-hmm. Single-player game. I installed Fallout 4 to his computer, and I said, look, bud, here you go. You can play Fallout now. He started playing it. Dude, he doesn't even play Minecraft anymore.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is his favorite game of all time. He's like, nope, I want to play Fallout. Fallout is so amazing. He's like, and I'm like, thank you. This is what I'm telling you. There's so many other games out there besides just Minecraft.
I've never played Fallout.
Oh my God. Dude, Fallout is so good.
They're fun. They're not my style of game. I'm not a big fan. I mean, they're good. I will give them, but it's just not. It's not for me.
Right. I was just thinking though, when you mentioned 76, one of the games that I used to like playing, well, two of them, Redneck Rampage, and the other one is Interstate 76, which was kind of like the Mod Squad. You're driving around in a car. It was a lot of fun. That one was a good game too.
The reason they call this one Fallout 76 is because it's supposed to be that you're in Vault 76. That's what it that's what it means. But anyway,
I want to find out a little bit about the problem you've been having with your HP Omen, which is a pretty high-end HP computer, a laptop.
I just got this computer like 6 months ago, and it's a very high-end laptop. It's got the AMD Ryzen 9. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's got the RTX 5070 graphics card. I mean, this thing is a beast, and it's been great for me this whole time. And I've never really been an HP fan. All of a sudden, this last Saturday, I go to get my laptop at night. It's in my bag. I grab it out to go do something, and the computer is just slow as molasses to boot up. Like I finally get to the login screen where I can log into Windows, and then the screen goes blank, and I can barely move my mouse. When I move my mouse, it's like one frame a second.
I hate that. Yeah.
Where the mouse is like, it kind of jumps around the screen 1 frame a second. And then there's no Windows Explorer at the bottom. Like, we know you got the Windows button and all the pinned icons. Nothing was at the bottom. And it took about 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, everything just got really smooth. And I was like, okay, think about this from an IT perspective. What causes this kind of thing to happen? And I'm thinking, okay, it's got to be a bad SSD, because everything is being loaded into RAM. And once it gets loaded into RAM, it's all nice and smooth. So I downloaded the HP diagnostics tool. I ran it within Windows. I even ran it with UEFI, but before Windows boots. I ran all the tests. Everything passed with flying colors. And I'm like, okay, fine. So then I went and I ran check disk. And I did check disk /C/F or whatever the commands are. It took about 35 minutes. It scanned my entire terabit hard drive. It said everything was fine. Then I'm like, okay, it's still not fixed. What is going on? Why is this so slow? I went to Windows Update and I noticed a couple updates, but they weren't installed right around that same time. They were installed a couple days earlier. But I was like, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. But I went as, you know what? I'm just going to uninstall the last 3 updates that Windows made.
Right.
I uninstalled those 3 updates. I rebooted the computer. Bam, everything is back again.
So it's a Microsoft update.
One more time, it's Microsoft's fault. They released a faulty... Dude, Microsoft is getting really bad. Like, they've been releasing updates lately that have just been bricking computers.
Amazing. All right, we're going to take another quick break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Find us on the Facebooks at /Tech Talkers. We'll be right back. So, websites of the week. Cool websites. We found a couple. I know we normally don't do this because we never find any cool websites, but I found one that's kind of cool. It's a Pong-style clock.
Wait, Pong, like in the game Pong?
Yeah, like the game where you're basically it's a clock, but you're watching 2 computer characters just play Pong, but it keeps up with the time. And so the website is bigjobby.com, bigjobby.com/Pong. And you can actually just watch these 2 little AI things, and they just bounce the thing back and forth, and eventually, when the minute is up, one of them loses, and then the minute goes to the next minute, and then it just kind of repeats.
It's just like watching sports.
Yep, pretty much.
Perfect.
And so we've been talking a lot about classic games. So there, if you want to, so 2 places you can go that I know of off the top of my head: Internet Archive.
Oh yeah.
And classicreload.com will allow you to play DOS games in your browser. DOSBox is a great application if you want.
Wait,
DOS
what
games.
was that? Classic Reload?
Classicreload.com.
All right.
So go there, check those out. But
Whoa.
during the break, we were talking about being distracted on the internet. With the TV Garden website, you can stream the NASA ISS TV, which is just basically like a live stream of the ISS going flying.
Wait,
over
where's
the Earth.
that one on TV Garden?
It's just scroll down, you'll see NASA TV.
Huh.
I've got that. I had that full screened up, and I was just mesmerized, just staring at it. Watching it
that's
go
so
by.
cool.
It's,
A little more visual than 3D Pong or Pong.
yeah. So the TV Garden stuff is just incredible. Like, and we talked about it a while back on the show. Another one of my favorite. If you were talking about TV, we're talking about Radio Garden. WebSDR.org is for ham radio people.
Oh, yes.
We've talked about that one. We talked about it when we talked about TV Garden 2 weeks ago. WebSDR.org. If you're into ham radio at all, I encourage you to go check that out. Tune in your local net, or tune in a net around the world. It's incredible.
All right, I got one. We talked about background remove.bg last week, where you can remove the background out of a photo. Here's another one, cleanup.pictures. Cleanup.pictures, and it's online image editing. So if you're looking for, you just want to remove somebody out of a picture real quick, I wouldn't say use this all the time, but if you're looking for something real quick, you want to test it out, play around, cleanup.pictures might work for you. All right, that's it for this week's Tech Talk Radio. Thanks for tuning in. If you have questions, comments, we'd love to hear from you. Again, we're on YouTube, so you can send us a comment there. TikTok, of course, Facebook, X, wherever you want to reach out to us. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Have yourselves a great week. We'll see you next time.